What is up, everyone? ElPro. Today's video, we're going to be building a PC. Yes, we're going to be building a computer. However, unlike other YouTubers, I'm not going to make the craziest $30,000 gaming PC money can buy, or, make something super disgusting. Instead, what we're going to do, we're going to make the weirdest PC ever. And, I really do mean we're going to be making a strange PC, because all the components are... Honestly, they shouldn't go together, but they kind of do at the same time. It's weird, so make sure you stay tuned, guys, because we are genuinely going to get pretty weird in this video, building the PC. So I guess let's begin, because, we're going to be dealing with unreleased hardware, OEM hardware, just janky stuff. It's going to be good, guys. You're going to want to watch this video all the way, because we got some big stuff coming. So let's begin. Alright, so at this point, I think it's the proper time to kind of introduce the mayhem that's about to unfold here, or just kind of the strangeness, I should probably say, because this is, after all, going to be a strange PC. So what we have for our RAM is nothing super strange. It's going to be some HyperX Genesis RAM. This is DDR3. It's 1600 megahertz, if I do recall correctly. So it's nothing super impressive. That's just kind of the more normal part. And then we're also going to be using this Be Quiet Power 11 700 watt power supply. That thing's going to be powering the system. It's complete overkill, but I didn't want to burn the house down, so that's why I went for something a little more reputable as opposed to, true weird stuff. And then let's see, what else do we got here? So now we're going to begin with like the less strange, or the more strange stuff, because that's what you came here for. So here we have a blue LED fan. This is a 92 millimeter fan. And I bought this from Korea like a year ago or so, and it's been sitting on my box of junk and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and actually use it this time around. So now let's introduce the case, because the case is another kind of strange part here. Alright, so the case selection was very deliberate. Honestly, you might have already seen it in a previous video, but yes. It is going to be the one and only Dell Optiplex 9010. This thing has been dead for a while now. I sold all the hardware in it, so I was left over with the case. And we're going to use it for the build today. But now let's introduce the strangest part of the entire build. Like, I do mean the strangest part. The motherboard itself. So let me go ahead and grab it and show you what I mean. Alright, so now it's time to introduce like the strangest part of this entire PC. That is in here. So in here we have a motherboard, but not just any motherboard. This, guys, I kid you not, this, guys, is the one and only motherboard featured on the WAN show. So if you watch a lot of Linus Tech Tips, you may have known he featured a crazy Chinese motherboard that has like an Xbox One X, or no, not One X, the Xbox One freaking APU, and that is what we have here, guys. So I'm actually kind of excited to show you guys this, because the moment I saw it, I kind of knew I had to buy one of these freaking things. And here it is right here. This is going to be the heart of today's super weird build. So let me go ahead and show you around it a little more, so you can get an idea of what makes this thing so strange. Alright, so here it is up close, but first I'm going to actually show you guys the WAN show, the original episode of where I found this board, and just Linus's reaction to it.
The motherboard with a soldered on A9 9820.
Yeah.
What is this thing?
This is weird. Apparently it showed up on, I think it was Alibaba. Okay. And as far as I know, it is supposed to be the Xbox One SoC.
So I gotta say, my reaction was actually kind of similar. I was like, what the hell is this thing? And now that I have one in my hands, actually, now I can tell you what this thing is. This is an AMD 9820, which is the whole strange part of this entire build right here. This is the strangest part. Reason why is, number one, it was never released. If you go look on AMD's website, you will not find any references of the A9 9820, which is what this is. And the second part is, this APU resembles one used in the Xbox One X. So the Xbox One X uses an APU, aka a CPU and a GPU combined in a single die like this. And this one is extremely similar to the one found in the Xbox One S, except that the Xbox One says Microsoft on it. This one says AMD. But if you go look at a die shot from the Xbox One S and this, you'll find that they're extremely similar, like down to like the test points and everything. So this right here is like the strangest part, but it gets better still, because not only did this come from the infamous AliExpress, you know, from the original video, but also this is speculated to have this original board is speculated to come out of the Chewy Mini PC. So the Chewy Mini PC was like this small form factor little gaming PC that the Chinese manufacturer Chewy intended to bring out to the public. However, they never brought it out and it was never released. Yeah, I have a board to one of them right here. And the reason that everyone, and including myself, speculates that this is a Chewy Mini PC motherboard is because just look at the ports and then go look at the website. Are you going to tell me they're not the same? Because they are. They're literally the same thing. And that PC itself also has the AMD A99820. So I think it's pretty safe to say that this is the actual board that came from that computer. Turns out it was actually made, but it was never released. And my speculation as well as to how the hell the AliExpress seller got a hold of these is probably from the e-waste pile, let's be honest. They're probably ruffling through an old warehouse and just trying to get rid of crap, and then they found these. And then they're like, oh, well, let's just get rid of stacks of these, and the Hyperson computer store on AliExpress decided, yep, I'll have all of them. I'll take all those shits and sell them on AliExpress for 130 bucks a pop. So, good job, man. But here it is, guys, the board itself. This is like the super strange part, so I guess let's go ahead and put this thing all together and see if it works. I'm honestly really curious. I haven't tested the board or anything on it. I wanted to save all that for the little impressions that I'm going to have here in a sec, and also for the review. So let's go ahead and start putting this system together for real now. Okay guys, so I decided to go ahead and install an M.2 SSD, but at the time I didn't realize that this was actually a SATA M.2 SSD, so it's not going to work with this machine. This machine only likes the NVMe ones, so that was kind of stupid on my part. But as you can see, this unit actually came with its own cooler heatsink, so that's very nice. However, the fan, not very stylish. It's not really up to my standards, so I'm going to go ahead and swap it out for a different fan that I think is going to go a lot better with the system. So let me get to doing that right now, actually. Okay, so the cooler itself is not a very weird unit, because it's just kind of this cheapo looking conventional thing, but we're gonna make it a little bit nicer by repurposing my old AMD Ryzen cooler. So here, let's see, I think I took the fan off, but yeah, it's here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap this fan onto this cooler, just because this is also an AMD processor, and you know what, let's just make this look a little better. I don't have an actual LED fan. I want to get one, but I think this should do for now. So let's go ahead and swap that thing on there. Alright, so let's go ahead and take off these screws. I think I have the wrong screw bit on right now. Let's see, let's toss that aside. Alright, so I found my screwdriver here. Is a big screwdriver. And this is what we're going to use to go ahead and take out the fan. It's just held on by some little screws here. And hopefully that should be all I need to take off this fan. Okay. Coolers or fans off. It's this thing. It's a Wii fan. I don't know. It's whatever. We don't need it. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw on our AMD fan here. And I think this will make for a nice visual improvement. Not really functionally, because it's the same freaking thing, but whatever. Alright, so our cosmetic upgrade is complete now. As you can see, I have an AMD fan on the original cooler that came with the board. This was mostly because, you know, I can't really use the original AMD cooler. This thing has like an old Intel style cooler. So I decided to just stick the AMD fan on it, and it looks just like an AMD cooler, sorta. So let's go ahead and plunk this on our board. I have a backplate for it, and our IO shield, so get to that right now. Alright, so now I think we're gonna go ahead and get ready to plunk down our cooler. It uses this. It came with the little bracket thing here. So I'm just gonna reuse that. I do actually have a leftover Corsair one from an H110 or H100 liquid cooler, which I could also use, but I don't know, we're probably not gonna use that. In this video, we're just gonna set this like that and just plunk this thing down. So hopefully this works. Actually, no, I forgot a really important part. Just realized. Okay, so I forgot a damn thermal paste. So let's not plunk this down quite yet. Let's apply a little bit of thermal paste here. Let's see. There you go. Should probably be enough. Don't judge the application, guys. It doesn't really matter. It'll spread by itself. It's fine. There's no need for ASMR thermal paste applications because, as I've already said, this is not an ASMR channel. So let's go ahead and plunk down our cooler. That should do it. So I think our initial assembly here is probably going to be done here. And then the rest is going to be in the Dell case. Alright, so it's time to get our case ready. I got the cooler all set up here. As you can see, it's ready to go here. So let's go ahead and plunk this thing into the Dell chassis. Our Dell case. This is what we're going to be putting the freaking machine inside of. Oh wait, you can't see that. Hold on, one sec. There you go. Now you can see it, right? Yeah. So here's the case we're going to be using. And originally, this shouldn't work with non-Dell motherboards because they're actually proprietary from the front panel. But this has been rewired by me. I did this in a previous video. If you want to go check it out, it's up here. But this is kind of custom, and I'm going to go ahead and plunk my motherboard in there. Or should I plunk out the power supply? Or should I plunk the power supply here? I think we might go for the power supply because... Let's see, actually, let me just do the power supply because let's be honest, probably going to be a bit easier here with our space constraints because this thing is not really going to fit that nice. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go for the power supply. Okay, so now that we're in a more appropriate view here, our power supply is this thing. I'm going to go ahead and stuff that in there. I actually don't even know if it's going to fit. I just kind of bought this thing. So here's our manual. It's just normal stuff. This thing is actually modular as well. Oh, they came with zip ties. That's nice. So this thing is modular, meaning you can just choose what cables you actually need. So that's very nice. For $114-ish, it actually makes a lot of sense to have a power supply like this. It's kind of a good deal, I'd say. So let's see, I got it up here. Okay, so here's our power supply. It's still unopened. I never opened this thing. This thing is gonna go in there, and I'm gonna see if it even fits. I don't even know. But let's see. Okay, so let's take off this bubble wrap. Just there. And here's our power supply. This is the Be Quiet unit that I'm gonna install in here. Let's see if this thing even works. Whoa, that may not fit. Let's see, can I stuff it in here? No, I might not be able to. Can I just pull this? Oh, never mind. There it is. I think I've got it. Got it, boys. It's alright. Okay. Is that as far back as it goes? Let's see. Yeah, that's probably, it looks like that's as far back as it goes. Okay. Wow, okay, this thing is super tight in there. Notice how there's no space, basically, at all? There's like no space in here. What the hell? Okay. I guess that's good, it fits, but just barely. That is a super tight squeeze in there. There's literally no room, it's like right up against the power supply. So I'm gonna screw this thing down. And hopefully that... Screw this thing down here. Oh, my camera's in the way. Hold on. Just set you back here. There we go. So honestly, guys, this is actually kind of simple. Building a PC nowadays is actually pretty simple. Alright guys, so there it is. Power supply is now in the machine. This thing is kind of strange how it's like black and silver, but I think that's actually kind of cool. But let's see. Let's lay this thing back down and plop our board in it. Okay, so now that we have the power supply in, it's time to put the board in here. I'm not even sure if this is gonna work. I'm just kind of going into this blindly, really. So this may either be an epic weird thing or just straight up a fail. Actually, I'm forgetting something. Where the hell is the IO shield? Here it is. So we gotta put this on. I can't open it. Okay, getting stumped here by some packaging. This is a bit embarrassing. Crap. There, okay, got it. So here's our IO shield. This is gonna go back here. Let's see, these ports are optional. That's freaking weird. Just like push them in or what? I think so, so I hope that works. Okay, I think I finally got it. There it is. It's more or less in there. Still doesn't really want to pop in all the way, but yeah, that's what you get with when you use OEM cases. This is why people don't really recommend you do this, but hey, I'm not like most people. I don't really give a shit. I do what I want. So there it is. Front panel is installed. Let's go ahead and pop in our board. Okay, now that I have that freaking thing in there, let's try to pop in this board and see how well this goes. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to take out the screws. Okay, let me take out the screws. Okay, so this thing was actually remarkably difficult to put together for the single reason that this case I think is a little bit warped from all the times I've kind of kicked it and stuff. But as you can see, all the holes actually line up, so that was pretty cool. The thing doesn't fall out anymore, so that's nice. I think let's go ahead and pop in our memory and wire this thing all up. So as you can see, I actually converted this case, so this shouldn't be too difficult, but if you want to go ahead and replicate this, make sure you do this first because it's kind of needed. So I think let's put in the RAM next. Okay, so again, our RAM is going to be this stuff. This is the HyperX Genesis. It's 1600 megahertz RAM. According to this little bit of research I've already done with this board, thanks to Socket Sanctuary for that. But apparently these boards don't really like to boot with 1866, so I went for this 1600 megahertz HyperX Genesis. Hopefully this stuff works in my machine here. So I'm going to go ahead and install it. See, this is why I hate my neighbor's dog, because he keeps barking during my videos and just making them all together worse. So thanks a lot, neighbor, for... Yeah, there's... Well... And then we just got one more stick of RAM to put in here. Okay, so there's our RAM. We finally put all 16 gigs of it. And I think the next thing we need to do is plug this all in. Put my fan in there because I got another fan in here. The blue LED fan. This is actually the same exact one I featured in my previous Optiplex video when this thing was still an Optiplex, not this Frankenstein Xbox PC now. But we're gonna go ahead and put this thing in here. Can I even rip it on camera no more? Okay, here it is. So this fan is blue. I want a red fan, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy one, but for the meantime, I think this blue fan should do. Let's see, where do we have? Oh, we only have grommets. Thanks, guys. Actually, never mind. I got a bunch of screws. Probably gonna use those instead. But this should go something like that right here. So I'm gonna go get some screws, I think. Or should I use the grommets? I think I'm gonna use the grommets, so give me a sec here. Okay, so I learned I don't want to deal with no grommets for this fan, so I got me some screws. Yeah, I got some screws. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these through here, and hopefully they fit. I think they should, because I remember I did this to this case already, so I should be able to just pop this straight in here and get it in and just screw it down. Okay guys, so I'm finally getting in the fan. This thing is actually kind of difficult to get in because it kind of wobbles a lot when you first put it in. You kind of have to bore out the holes with the screws. They're not really the biggest, so that's okay. As you can see, I got 2 of them in. And we will be ready to go here pretty soon. We just got to wire up the front panel. Finish up these 2 final screws. And we'll fire this thing up for the first time, see if it even boots. I don't even know if that board works. I'm hoping it does because the AliExpress return, I think the return has already ended a while back, so hopefully this goes well. Wish me luck, guys. Alright guys, so I've been at it for like 50 minutes here trying to get this all wired up. And I kind of did a little bit of cable management. I just tried strapping the big ball of cables right here. And then I strapped these to the little like tabs on the drive cage. And I think it looks fine. Honestly, it's not such a big deal because, like, let's be honest, this thing is not a clear case. So a lot of your normal cases are actually clear, whereas you can see inside of it. This one isn't. You can just see it right now because I'm building it still. But yeah, I think it's as good as it's gonna get, to be perfectly honest. Now, let's see. I need to put the front bezel back on because I installed the DVD drive. Let's see. There you go. Okay, there we go. Alright guys, so I think there we are. Here's the build. The super sketchy build. I was telling you guys this was going to be kind of sketchy. It's inside of a Dell Optiplex right now. The same. It was an old Dell Optiplex. We have our power supply, A9-9820, DDR3 RAM, M.2 slot, or SSD, sorry. And then we have our CD drive, which I'm just keeping it there for decoration purposes. And then our fan here that doesn't even reach the end. So I think we're gonna go ahead and fire this thing up and install Windows on it because, like, that's like the thing you should do. So I think let's put the cover back on and fire this thing up, see if it even works. I actually don't know yet, but I'm hoping it does because I spent way too much time building this thing. See, cable management doesn't matter. You can't even see anything. So let's go ahead and test this thing out. Alright guys, so it's actually been a couple of days since I built my strange Xbox PC, and honestly, I just gotta say already, this thing's been giving me problems like up the wazoo, really. So for some reason I decided to stop booting off this drive. This drive is one of the 1 terabyte drives I recently purchased, and I purchased it for video production purposes, but for some reason it just decided to not work anymore, so I decided to swap it out for this Kingston SSD here. And now we're going to show you guys what you want to see, and that's probably CPU-Z. You want to see that this is an actual A9-9820. So where is CPU-Z? Here it is. So, well, that fires up. Basically, yeah, okay, so AMD K16, A9-9820, so for some reason now this wants to work, which is nice, but not nice at the same time. So yeah, so I hope to run some games and I try to benchmark this thing for upcoming review here real soon. But here it is, finally the thing is working. Let's see, can we get the system? There it is. So Windows 10 Pro, and then we have the A9-9820. I feel like I should mention, when I first booted this thing up, in my when I first built it, the BIOS was set a bit different. So let's see. Let's restart. I'm gonna show you what I mean here. Okay guys, so the computer is rebooting right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into the BIOS here. I'm gonna show you guys something a little strange. So let me turn this light off because it's getting in the way here. So we're gonna go to CPU configuration, and for some reason you can set this. This is the custom core P states, which I don't know what that means, but what that does is it actually changes the processor ID. So right now it says that it's a A99820, and then if I said it's a RX 8120, the computer will say it's an RX 8120. And it also downclocks the CPU slightly. For some reason, when I first turned this computer on, that's how it was set. Don't really understand why, but you'll see what I mean here. Alright, so we're back. And when I first turned on this computer, it said this. This is an AMD RX 8120. And as you can see, it's downclocked. Instead of being 2.3 gigahertz, it's like 1.7. I don't know why this is a thing, but that's just the weird thing I noticed as soon as I turned this on. Now this is after the fact that that happened, but here's just kind of a reenactment of exactly what happened when I first just turned on the machine. So there we are, guys. The thing works. I'm gonna go ahead and get to testing this thing and see how it performs. So far it's not looking that great, especially in the downclocked mode. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please support it. Might have been a little underdone here, but anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some more videos. We got some more stuff coming. Hopefully I might try to see if I can get my hands on some later hardware and stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for some more epic videos. Peace out.